Yo, what's up guys, here on the Seii4Guardian account. Did not showcase the rush as of yet, but I'm going to be showcasing a little bit of the rush in here right now. We're closing in on the 69 days, we're currently at 68. And this is going to be the final video on the Seii4Guardian account. At least for the final video in this series of like the progression of Seii4Guardian. I might use this account in the future if I want to make if there's some changes to PvE and I want to have some free-to-play account-ish. Well, it's full free-to-play, so if I want to have some lower rune quality dungeon teams, anything out there, then I could definitely use this account for that, because it's pretty early in the game, it doesn't have the craze of runes, and that's okay-ish rage runes, but that's kind of the thing. But I'm going to be ending the series on this account, so I'm going to be talking about a few things, why I'm going to be ending the series, what my original goals were, why did I not actually meet those goals, and if I would redo a series like this, or maybe actually fully start playing a new account, and what would need to be changed in the game for me to actually do that. So first of all, the goal of this series was simply to get Guardian in multiple places in the game. I wanted to get Guardian in Siege. Well, technically I'm in a G1 Siege guild, so that counts, but it only counts towards the end of the season, so therefore not. I wanted to get Guardian 1 in Arena, and RTA I didn't really want to get Guardian 1 in, because that really depends on what the meta is at that moment and if you have the meta units or not. For Arena, we did have a pretty good showcases thus far. So every week we kind of had like an upgrade. We went from 930 in the first try, which was definitely really good, to 750, to 281, to 291. So that does mean that the last one was definitely a bit of a downside. I will be playing the clip on the background for me of rushing while I'm be talking about stuff. And I will be going a little bit back and forth on showcasing in-game and also showcasing the rush itself. So the rush is going on in the background while I'm just talking about this right now. So the main reason that I wanted to do this account is always like, it's just fun content. It's cool to see what kind of events Comtois is currently running for anniversary events. At the end of the year, mostly they do like a fever event. So does that mean that I'm gonna redo this kind of series with the fever event at that time? Might be, I'm not 100% sure. But the main thing is, at some point, at the early game, you have a lot of progression. And that's really cool. And there's a lot of videos to make, and there's a lot of content to make, and there's a lot of cool stuff to do. But right now, especially with the change that happened during the series itself, on the Arena Rush is only every other 2 weeks. So only twice a month, I have a chance to reach my goal, which is definitely a very long thing to do your dailies for every day, log in every day, do Siege twice a week, make sure you do the World Guild Battle, make sure you do the world boss, make sure you do the dailies on the rivals, farm every day, make sure you do all of the events, and then also still make sure to do all of your rune uppings. And mainly the last one is the part which I really don't like to do. Like farming on 2 accounts, not that much of a deal. You just put I have a second phone. Like this was my phone, and this was my main phone. So my side phone was pretty much always just rocking the game on the alt, and it was kind of working out. But the big issue is the moment you have to start doing rune upping. You have to go through all of the runes, you have to +6 them. You actually, in the new account, because you don't have an infinite amount of mana, you kind of want to +3 them, then +6 them, then +9 them. Whereas on my main account, man, I throw +12s where I want it because I have too much mana anyways. And those are one of those things that's just a really tedious process, and that's a process that I'm currently, for management in the game, dislike the most. And I don't even like to do it on my main account, let alone do that on the alt as well. So for that reason, I would say, would I ever redo a series like this? Yeah, maybe with a smaller goal, unless they make a way where you can just select your whole box of like select 30 runes and all +6 them at the same time and then go through them. If they make some quality of life like that, I would definitely be a lot more willing to build a second account and permanently keep playing that second account, and then also maybe go towards RTA and that kind of stuff. But it also kind of depends, like how much is the events working at that time, how much fun is the account, did it pull any cool units. I actually did recently get a bunch of cool units on this account, did get the Feng Yang, did get the Leo, but then again, I did actually notice with this rush, in this league, for some reason, there was nothing I could rig, legit, I couldn't rig for a whole hour. So I started off way higher than I did on the previous ones, because in the previous ones where I tried to get the highest rank, I was mostly around like C1, C2-ish, and then I had to climb all the way up, and it kind of worked out. This time around, I actually did it fully differently. I started at like G2-ish, and then hoped to stay at a higher rank if I could beat the people, but I definitely did notice there was pretty much nothing I could rig, nothing I could joke, and so everything was a slow clear with a Feng Yang and a Leo kind of stuff. And that was just kind of also demotivating for me to do like an arena rush where you're just like pretty much autoing people all arena rush. So for that sense, is it possible to get into G1? If you pull the right units, yeah, definitely. It definitely would not be that much of an issue. But you would have to farm for definitely a whole bit longer time. And I can only try that out 2 times per month while having to do all of the chores to kind of keep up with the account. And for that reason, I'm simply just saying I'm going to be ending the series here of trying to push for Guardian because I don't want to be continuously farming on 2 accounts. Does this mean I'm going to quit Summoner's War? No, guys. That's not the case. I'm still going to be playing my main. I'm still going to be making content on the main. I did mention it before, and I will mention that again, however. I'm not planning to play RTA on stream anytime soon again. And that is just simply because RTA is not enjoyable for me to play on stream at all. It's just too much RNG nonsense, and whether I play bad or it's just full on RNG, I'm on the point I don't even care what the issue is. It's just not enjoyable. And that is just a big issue for me. I kind of lost the joy in RTA. I will still be playing RTA on the side, like off stream. But the chill thing is, if you play off stream, the moment you tilt, the moment you get annoyed, you just put the game away for a little bit of time. And that is the best way to start playing your RTA, because in my opinion, I definitely could be like hunting ghosts with this one. I feel like that there's very lucky moments and very unlucky moments. If you're in an unlucky moment and you land absolute jack shit, in the next few matches, you're probably gonna land absolute jack shit as well. Yesterday, I was playing a little bit to secure my G3 rank, and I had twice in a row that my Okeanos double missed the S2. So missing the double S2 at double 15 checker is a 2.25% chance. If you want to do that twice in a row, we're looking at a 0.05% chance. I could have pulled an LD on one scroll on that one. But yeah, you kind of get the idea. There's just too much RNG nonsense, and the meta is really RNG dependent, where everything is as much despair as possible, and to counter it, it's as much Josephine as possible. Yeah, I'm not really a big fan of that kind of meta. So for me, maybe I'll do it at some point with a really low investment, weird fun team at the start of the siege or at the start of the season, where I just start throwing like some kind of random cleaves at shit. I might stream those if I really don't care, but if I care about my rank, I'm simply not going to be streaming RTA, because it is not fun to try to climb on stream. That's just my simple fact. Sure, there's a lot of streamers out there that still do enjoy it, but for me, I simply lost the enjoyment out of RTA because it's too much of an RNG nonsense. And also by the simple fact, Comp2us is never going to address that because they simply don't care about your enjoyment of RTA or RNG or anything like that. Still, do I enjoy the rest of the game? Yeah, I still like progressing my account and doing the siege and talking to the guildies, trying to make some content, trying to make some niche arena teams for here and there, trying to, well, also do the arena rush. Still do enjoy that on my main, of course. Also, the thing that I still do enjoy is trying to make guides for PvE content, but then again, it's not too much changing with the balance patches in PvE neither, so there's not too many changes made to PvE, especially if things get released like the new Water R5, there's a few new teams to make, those kind of things, and then the theory crafting. Definitely will be long streams for that, always trying those things out. But then again, there's not too much of that going on, and especially having to do all of the chores, let's just call them chores, on 2 accounts is a little bit too much for me. So I will still be making daily videos on Summoners War. Sometimes it's a little bit harder to find content. I have heard some people say it's like, oh, the only videos you make right now are like, look at my good runes, I do so much damage. It's like, yeah, I couldn't really find too much content to do. So then it's just throw freaking a high damage set to a Zyros and test it out. If you have some suggestions for videos, let me know in the comments. I heard some videos about how to approach RTA from like a drafting kind of point. I do really like those videos. The issue with those videos is only that it's very box dependent. It's very meta dependent. So it's very timely, only working right now. And in a month, it might be super outdated again. But I made some arena guides where I drag in like certain units into the draft and kind of stuff. I'm thinking to do something like that for RTA as well. And then just go through all of the meta teams, what counters, what meta team, what unit should you be focusing on, with that kind of stuff. If you want to see some of those kind of RTA drafting kind of style videos, let me know in the comments. I still want to be invested in RTA, and I think that's also, it's more chill for me. Like the last, I would say, half a year to a year, every time I went into RTA or I thought about RTA and was like, oh no, I should do this for streaming content because that's streaming content, so I have something to stream. And because of that, I kind of wasn't doing that much RTA and wasn't really involved in RTA that much, whereas I still do enjoy RTA for certain times, but I definitely also want to be able to just leave my phone, put it away the moment RNG goes bad. Like yesterday, I had pretty bad RNG for a moment. I just put my phone away for like 2-3 hours. I came back, mental reset, and then I could do a few more matches. If you're streaming, you can't be just like, oh, I have 3 matches. I had like my Gianna landed 0 out of 4 in 2 matches in a row, and then they all procced out the moment she did land. I'm gonna end the stream, or am I coming back in 2 hours? It just simply doesn't work that way. So for that reason, I will definitely be probably doing more RTA, because I'm not streaming RTA, or I made the choice not to stream RTA. I will probably still stream RTA like early season, and then just make some kind of Maximilian whatever cleave or something like that. Maybe I'll have some fun with that, but those are kind of the things that I'm aiming for right now for streaming content, but therefore also I'm saying I'm not going to be focusing on the alt anymore, because focusing the alt, at some point I'm playing this, I was playing Ethereum Restart, I was still playing like Chronicles, like Summoners War Chronicles, logging in, doing dailies, logging out, still took a bit of time. I did the same thing for Wuthering Waves. I was 2 accounts on Summoners War and I had an account on Ethereum Restart. I was doing dailies on 5 different accounts every day, and then also making content, making videos on 2 channels. I was getting overworked, let's call it that way. So for that reason, I already dropped Chronicles. I dropped Wuthering Waves to a certain extent. Like if I feel like it, I still do the dailies, but I don't really feel like anymore that I have to. So it's just whenever I have time and whenever I feel like that I'm doing nothing and I could do it. But it definitely doesn't feel as a pressure anymore. I still had the pressure for playing the second account, doing all of the dailies, getting all of the guild stuff done and all of that kind of stuff. Was already quite slacking on that, but I want to put that away as well for not doing that anymore. So yeah, that's pretty much the video of explaining my process of what this account, what happened and why I'm no longer going to be playing this account as actively. I still will do, like as I mentioned, videos. If there's like a guide on a super early game, easy to obtain, free to play units, let's say they make new 2As and one of the new 2As will enable a certain dungeon in a certain way with lower rune quality, I'll take this account. I won't reset it. With the other series I did, I mostly did reset it at some point. The Seii4Guardian will definitely remain. I won't reset it, and I will use the rune quality that I geared up on that one, if there is some low rune investment kind of gearing thing that I can use anywhere. So also in the background, you did kind of see the rush just pan out, whereas I was legit, I had to Feng Yang everything because I couldn't find anything else in a Feng Yang team, and therefore the ranking was also not that high. So yeah, that's pretty much also a recap of the rush. I also do want to talk about what are the achievements that I did manage to get on the alt altogether in pretty much 70 days of play. So we did already mention these were the ranks that we were able to get in Arena. Arena offense, and I'll also be showcasing a bunch of runes. The Leo was this kind of set, not too bad. I think that these are the kind of stats that I recommend people to aim for Leo. High resistance, high crit rate, high stats in tankiness. Could be a bit more in HP and defense, but definitely not too bad. Feng Yang as well, could be a bit more defense, could be a bit more HP, and more artifact damage, but definitely not too bad. If you don't have an Alaya, using a Lulu is the best in slot option, but Alaya, of course, would be 1,000 times better. Rick was, of course, my heavy hitter, which had a pretty good set, which is also my best rage set that I have on this account, which might be better than some people's rage sets out there already, but it was a pretty decent set altogether, which helped out a lot. My only quad roll on this account was a 30 crit damage over here. Let's see what my fastest speed was in the end. I think my fastest speed, yeah, I did do 1 re-up, and it's also, oh no wait, that's my second quad roll actually. The 26 speed on this one is definitely one of those runes that if you play in alts, like, yeah, I would have liked this rune on my main. You know that's going to happen if you play an alt. Like, if you get salty over getting something good on your alt that you would like to have on the main, simply don't play an alt. Like, that's my biggest recommendation on that. But this rune is pretty good for that. This rune is pretty decent as well. I think the best rune on the account, arguably, at least efficiency-wise, would probably be this rune. Yeah, it's definitely this rune. This was one of those runes that you got from the share rune event, and it rolled, like, incredibly good, where it did get, like, a 22-11. Could have been higher, of course. But this was a very good rune altogether. Once again, one of the few that I would like to see in the alt. And I think that's also probably the highest rune per score. No, wait, this one actually does have a higher, 227. Let's see what's the highest score. So in this one, it's definitely that one over there. Let's see, in this slot, 180. This one, 193. This one, also pretty good one. I think that this was, yeah, it was not a full-on quad because one roll is in there, and I could still, if you remove this for HP, you can definitely make this a lot higher. And then this. So, yeah, fastest set, 199, could be easily upgraded to, now, well, since we're wasting things anyways, We're going to say that we made a 200 set. Woohoo! Definitely would not recommend to do that. But yeah, 201 set on the Bernard. So just to say that we had a 200 set right there. Well, making a 200 set, you just need like one rune that's like 24, 25-ish. And then a whole bunch of runes that are just like 20. And I would say if you just go 22 average by base and then plus force altogether, you already reach a 201 right there. So that's definitely doable to get nowadays. I think it's a lot easier with farming all of those things all together. Let's look at the collection log, or like the collection thingy. Wait, where that monsters collection? What units did we pull? So we got, of course, the Rick over there. We did manage to pull the Joe Gun. We got a Daphnis as well. Daphnis did help out a lot in Siege, was a really good pull. Vanessa, really good for arena defense. Same for the Juno. Panda was picked up earlier. Those are just the normal units. Let's see, for water, we did get a Jurgen, but never actually managed to use it. The Manon, also pretty decent for defense. Poseidon was a really good pull early on. Definitely helped out until we got the Rick. And that is all for water. Then in this case, we do have the Nobara. We do also have a Christina. And we have two Feng Yangs. That's the only dupe I have on the account. Is a Feng Yang, which is arguably also the best dupe to be getting in the game. Well, I would say Tiana dupes and Adriana dupes are technically better, but Feng Yang is pretty much the next best thing, and they headbang like this. So yeah, that's pretty much for all of those units. Oh, of course, we also did pull some light and dark units. I did not really up all of the light and dark units, so I would have to check them from here. So these are all HOHs that we picked up. Armana was picked up by ourselves. These are also all HOHs as far as I know. Yep. Then let's see for dark. We did pull a Libli before the Libli HOH, so Libli is technically a full-on pull. We pulled the Frigate as well, which is interesting. I also pulled the Frigate on the Blitz Cup. And then we also have, of course, the Leona, which is one of those LDs. If you pull that on an alt, you're not going to be that salty because it's not that great in the first place, unless this gets hella buffed in the next balance patch. But to be honest, talking about disappointments, balance patches. So yeah, that's one of those things. I have absolute zero faith in any upcoming balance patch ever anymore, because they had the perfect moment with all of the timing. I talked many times about it in the previous balance patch. They did not take that timing right, and therefore it's just, I'm never going to be hype over any balance patch ever again. Trust me, mark my words on this. I might do balance patch prediction videos at some point, but will I hype people over like, yo, this is going to be a big balance patch? No, we'll never do that again. Because if they don't do it at the most right timing ever, they're never going to do it. Let's talk about the dungeon team. So, of course, I was farming the Giants with the Teshar team. Moment that I couldn't use the Teshar team, I was using the Kyle team, which is pretty much similar like this, but you remove the Luna for a second bird, and you remove this one for a Kyle, and you just make your way work from there. Dragons, I simply never did. I think I just put all of my resources from any event towards violent runes, and I think that's kind of still the way to go. Sure, at some point you kind of want to farm some dragons, but in the end, I just didn't farm any dragons at all. Necro is farming with this team. Absolutely go the team, and it just works out super incredible well. Spiritual Realm, never really did. Steel Fortress, this was my team for it. The Lizard Man is actually really good for the moment you want to have any safe clears. If you're struggling in Steel Fortress, just add a Lizard Man on any of your DPS slots. Sure, it's going to be a lot slower, but it's going to be very safe and it's really recommended. And then Punisher Script, I guess that this is the most common team out there. Then these teams don't really matter all too much. I only did R5. I didn't do any of the others, but R5 I could clear in about 26 seconds with the full R5 team. Also, if you want to see any videos on the teams I made, the playlist is linked in the description down below if you want to see any more on this. Besides that, there was not all too much going in there. So I guess that those were most of the achievements. We did also play a few RTA matches. I also fully DK'd already. They didn't even show up anymore, but yeah, I was able to get a fair amount of win rate, and I think we got to Conqueror 1 relatively fast. And yeah, that's just the thing. The moment you start playing, you have like a decent win rate and a decent understanding of the game. You can get pretty far. It also does definitely depend on what kind of support units are good. Definitely, if you're an early game player, do check out those support units. So yeah, that's pretty much all for this account. That is the finale of this account. Next time around, if I will be making a goal on like a fever booster, whatever event, if that comes towards the end of the year or maybe the anniversary of next year, I will be going for a little bit of a shorter goal, because this goal definitely does burn out the moment that you have to do an insane amount of Like every time I was looking at a pile like this, it's like, oh, I have the fucking +6. Does it go into speed? Did go for attack, then a +9. Does it go into speed of attack? Oh, now it goes in that one. Now it's useless. And then so, well, this is actually probably still usable. But yeah, that's kind of the thing. Like that whole tedious process just takes way too much time. And that is simply time that I don't want to invest in pretty much doing something that I would like to do on this account once every 2 weeks, so 2 times a month. So yeah, that's kind of the thing out there. Won't be making any videos. I also definitely want to shout out the guild that did take me under, which is going to be a GOAT. I definitely do appreciate those guys a lot. They did let me in when I was legit on a 1-day-old account, trying to get my achievements in and my things in and that kind of stuff. So I highly do appreciate them. I will also tell them, of course, to get me out of the Siege, because I won't be playing any more Siege if I'm not logging in daily kind of stuff. So yeah, that's all for this account. Let me know in the comments what you think about, well, the whole process of the video. Let me know what you think about the whole process of the account. Should I have done more? Should I have done things differently? Should I do things differently with a future account? Yeah, just let me know. Curious about that. Also, for future videos, feel free to leave any suggestions. Definitely does not mean that I will pick those up. But sometimes there's just not that much to do. And I still like to make daily videos for you guys. So that's where mostly the end-ups comes with like, oh, I'm just Lucianing everything. Let me show you my Lucian. I pulled a Miranate. Insane damage. Let's make some insane damage videos. I'm just trying to figure out where I do want to make the content in, because RTA content for videos, for me personally, maybe if I have a really specific theme, but otherwise it's just fighting whatever gives the RNG or gets the RNG on your side or not. Early in the season, I can toy around maybe a little bit more with cleaves. Next season, I could do a little bit of videos on that. But then very good odds that I wouldn't stream the whole process, but I just make a video out of it or something. I'm not really sure about that just yet. But let me know in the comments what you would like to see for future videos. But this will be, for now, the last one on the Seii4Guardian account. And yeah, probably the last one, well, not ever, but the last one in the series of trying to progress the account. That's going to be the finale one, guys. Thanks a lot for watching. I highly appreciated you for watching all of the content on the Seii4Guardian account and any of the content I make. I definitely want to shout out you guys as well. Without you, I couldn't be doing this full time, so I definitely do want to thank you guys a lot for watching all of my videos, and I hope to see you as always in the next one. Thanks for watching. If you would like to see more guides, join the Discord and check out the content tab for the guide video archive, which contains all of the guides that you might need. Hope to see you there.